Your dog just yawned, and so did you. Or maybe it was the other way around. Right now, somewhere in your home, your dog is doing something that perfectly mirrors how you feel inside, and you probably haven't noticed it yet. That is not a coincidence. That is not a quirk. What is happening between you and your dog is one of the most extraordinary biological phenomena ever documented between two different species, and most dog owners never learn what's truly driving it. In the next 12 minutes, you will understand your dog on a level that most veterinarians don't even discuss. This isn't about training or behavior tricks. This is about the invisible biological thread that links your nervous system directly to your dog's body, in real time. If you've ever wondered why your dog gets anxious when you're anxious, or why they somehow always know when you're having the worst day of your life, stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you changes everything. Welcome to First Psych. If you care about your dog's emotional world, hit subscribe right now because this is exactly what this channel is about. Let's start with something you've definitely experienced without realizing what it meant. You're sitting on the couch, you're stressed about work, you haven't said a word, you haven't moved, and your dog walks over, nudges your hand, and won't settle. Or you come home after a genuinely terrible day, completely silent, and within minutes your dog is pacing, panting slightly, restless in a way they weren't an hour ago. You assume that they were picking up on some vague emotional cue, but what was actually happening is far more precise, far more biological, and far more deeply bonded than anything your closest human friend is capable of doing for you. Scientists call it emotional contagion. It's the documented phenomenon where one organism's internal emotional state transfers directly to another's physiological response. Studies conducted at the University of Vienna have shown that a dog's heart rate will spike measurably in response to a human's elevated stress, even when there is no visible trigger, no raised voice, no sudden movement. The dog isn't reacting to what you're doing. The dog is reacting to what you are. And the biological system that makes this possible is built right into the canine brain. But here's where it gets really interesting, because the mirror your dog holds up to your emotions isn't metaphorical, it is anatomical. Deep inside the canine motor cortex live a population of specialized neurons that researchers have been studying intensively over the last several years. These cells, loosely analogous to what neuroscientists call mirror neurons in primates, do something remarkable. They fire not only when the dog performs an action, but when the dog observes a human performing that same action. When you stretch your arms above your head, something lights up in your dog's brain as if they stretch too. When you tense your jaw in frustration, their motor cortex responds. When you slump with exhaustion into a chair, their body reads that slump like a command their nervous system begins to follow. In 2026, a landmark neuroimaging study published out of a joint research program between Hungarian and Japanese behavioral scientists used fMRI-compatible setups to monitor canine brain activity in real time, while dogs observed human facial expressions versus verbal commands. The results were staggering. Dogs processed microexpressions, those fleeting quarter-second shifts in a human face that even humans miss consciously, an average of 30% faster than they process spoken words. Your face, your posture, your subtle body language isn't background noise for your dog. It is the primary language, and their brain is perfectly engineered to read every single syllable of it. Now, think about what this means. Every time you've been quietly falling apart on the inside, believing you are holding it together on the outside, your dog was reading your face like a book. Every time you felt genuine joy and your dog suddenly exploded with energy for no apparent reason, that was their mirror neurons responding to the micro-expressions of happiness dancing across your features before you even fully felt them yourself. You are broadcasting a constant, wordless biological signal, and your dog has an antenna tuned specifically to your frequency. Now, this is a part most people never realize, and once you understand it, you will never look at your dog's anxiety the same way again. Your dog can smell your stress. Not in a poetic sense. in a deeply chemical, molecular sense. The human body, when under psychological stress, produces elevated levels of cortisol, the primary stress hormone. This cortisol shifts the precise chemical signature of your skin, your breath, and what researchers call your volatile organic compound profile, the unique chemical cloud that surrounds your body at all times. Dogs possess an olfactory system that is approximately 10,000 times more sensitive than ours. They detect cortisol shifts that register as nothing more than a faint trace to any laboratory instrument. To your dog, it's a siren. But what happens next is where it becomes a genuine biological feedback loop. When your dog detects that cortisol surge in your chemistry, their own hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the same stress response system humans have, begins to activate in parallel. Their cortisol rises in response to yours. Their heart rate climbs. Their muscles prepare. They are not imagining your stress. They are metabolically sharing it. Two separate bodies running one shared alarm system. This is why a dog raised in a chronically anxious household often develops what looks like generalized anxiety disorder of their own. It isn't a behavioral problem they developed independently. It is a physiological echo. The dog's nervous system has been marinated for months or years in the owner's stress chemistry, and it has recalibrated to treat that level of cortisol as its normal baseline. You were never just their owner. You were their endocrine environment. In just a moment, I'll show you something about the chemistry of eye contact that will completely change how you understand the bond between you and your dog. But first, let me tell you about something that happened with a border collie named Mira, whose owner came to a canine behavioral clinic in Stockholm not because the dog was misbehaving, but because the dog had started waking up at 3 a.m. every night in a panic. The veterinarians found nothing physically wrong. It was only when a behavioral scientist began tracking the owner's sleep patterns that they discovered she had been experiencing severe nocturnal anxiety episodes, lying perfectly still, perfectly quiet, her body flooding with cortisol. Mira wasn't having nightmares. Mira was waking up because she could smell her owner's internal nightmare. The dog was a living, breathing symptom of a human's hidden suffering. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you changes everything about how you see the moments of quiet connection with your dog. When you look into your dog's eyes, really look, soft and sustained, something happens in both of your brains simultaneously. Oxytocin, the hormone associated with bonding, trust, and love, surges in measurable quantities in both you and your dog at the same moment. This was demonstrated definitively in a 2015 study by Dr. Miho Nagasawa at Azabu University in Japan, and the findings sent shockwaves through behavioral neuroscience because this mutual oxytocin loop had previously only been documented between human parents and their infants. Your dog doesn't just trigger your oxytocin. Your dog experiences a reciprocal oxytocin surge of their own, driven by looking at your face. What this means is that the eye contact between you and your dog isn't just affectionate, it is chemically synchronizing. With every sustained gaze, you are both releasing a hormone that deepens trust, reduces fear, increases attunement, and literally rewires neural pathways towards connection. You are, in the most biological sense possible, becoming more bonded with every shared glance. And this oxytocin bridge is precisely what allows your dog to bypass your verbal communication entirely and plug directly into your emotional subconscious. Think about the closest human friend you have. That person can hear your words, read your expressions, and still completely miss how you're really feeling because their brain is simultaneously managing their own narrative, their own biases, their own emotional static. Your dog has none of that interference. There is no internal monologue competing with their attention to you. There is no social agenda. There is only the pure oxytocin-saturated, cortisol-detecting, mirror neuron firing biological focus on your state of being. In the entire history of your life, no creature has ever paid as close attention to you as your dog does. Not your parents, not your partner, not your best friend. Your dog. But here's where it gets really interesting. because this mirror runs in both directions, and that means you have more power over your dog's physical and emotional reality than you may ever have considered. If your dog is pacing, restless, unable to settle, before you assume it's about them, ask yourself what your body is doing, because in that moment, you may be the source. Your shallow breathing, your elevated cortisol, your tense posture is being read and replicated in real time by the animal at your feet. The single most effective intervention documented in veterinary behavioral studies for an anxious dog is controlled, conscious, diaphragmatic breathing by the owner. Not medication, not commands, breathing. When you deliberately slow your breath, 4 counts in, hold for 4, 6 counts out, your cortisol drops. Your heart rate variability shifts, your chemical cloud changes, and within minutes, your dog's nervous system begins to follow. You are the mood leader. You always were. This is both a profound responsibility and an extraordinary gift. It means that the life your dog lives inside their nervous system is substantially authored by the life you carry inside yours. It means that every morning you choose to move through your home with groundedness and calm, you are literally creating a safer physiological reality for a creature that has no ability to separate their biology from yours. And it means that every moment of genuine laughter, every burst of real joy, every exhale of deep peace you allow yourself, your dog feels it too, in their muscles, in their chemistry, in their quietly rising oxytocin. The mirror effect is not just a fascinating quirk of canine neuroscience. It is the deepest expression of what 12,000 years of coevolution between humans and dogs has been building toward. While we were teaching them to herd and hunt and guard, they were developing something far more intimate, a biological synchrony so precise that they became, in the truest sense, an extension of our inner world. Not a pet, not a companion in the casual sense, a living, breathing, feeling reflection of everything we carry inside us. The next time your dog leans into you after a hard day, they are not just offering comfort, they are demonstrating that they felt the weight of that day alongside you, every hour of it, in their own body. And the next time you choose to breathe slowly, to move gently, to sit in genuine calm, know that somewhere at your feet, a nervous system just like yours is settling, exhaling, and mirroring your peace back to you. If this shifted how you see your dog, share it with someone whose dog might need them to understand this too. They deserve to know.